Hey, welcome. You ever feel like your money should be doing more? Like it should be working a whole lot harder for you? Well, you're right, it absolutely can. Today, we're going to dive into the mathematics of finance, the concepts that basically let your money travel through time.
So let me ask you a question, a really simple one. Is $100 in your pocket right now worth the same as $100 you're promised a year from now? I think deep down we all know the answer is no, not even close. And figuring out why that is, well, that's the key to basically everything in finance.
So, here's how we're going to break it down. First, we'll get into why money has this weird time-traveling ability. Then, we'll look at the engine that makes it all happen. Interest, simple versus compound. We'll touch on annuities, which are just repeating payments. Then we'll get into the fun stuff, future and present value. And finally, we'll see how you can put all of this to work.
All right, let's get right into it. Part 1, why money has a time machine. And this all comes down to probably the single most important idea in all of finance, which is the time value of money.
So what does that actually mean? It's pretty simple, really. A dollar today is worth more than a dollar tomorrow, period. And the reason is all about potential. The money you have right now, it can be invested, it can earn interest, it can grow, it's ready to go to work for you.
Okay, so what's behind this? It really boils down to 3 big ideas. First up is inflation, right? That $100 next year, it's just not going to buy as much stuff. Then there's something called opportunity cost. If you have the money now, you miss out on the opportunity to invest it if you have to wait for it. And finally, there's risk. I mean, a promise to be paid in the future isn't a sure thing. Things happen. It's that old saying, a bird in the hand is worth 2 in the bush.
Okay, so we've established that money can earn more money. The engine that drives that growth is, of course, interest. But here's the thing you have to know. Not all interest is the same, not by a long shot.
So on one side, you've got simple interest. It's simple. You get paid interest only on the money you first put in. That's it. But then you have compound interest. And this is where the magic happens. Here, you earn interest on your initial money, and you earn interest on all the interest you've already piled up.
And you can really see the difference here. Look at that. Simple interest is just a straight line. Steady, predictable, kind of boring. But look at compound interest. It starts slow, but then it takes off like a rocket. It's an exponential curve. And that growing gap between those 2 lines, that, my friends, is the power of compounding right there. So, let's just nail this down. Compound interest is basically your interest earning its own interest. It's like your money has a kid, and then that kid starts earning money too. It's a total snowball effect. And you know, getting this to work for you isn't just about crunching numbers. It's really a mindset. You have to be patient and think long term, because the real, incredible power, that stuff really kicks in over many, many years.
Okay, so that's how a lump sum of money grows. But what about money that moves in a more regular pattern? You know, like payments that happen over and over again. We all deal with those, right?
Well, in the world of finance, there's a specific name for this. It's called an annuity. I know, it sounds a little intimidating, but don't let the word fool you. It's just a fancy term for a sequence of equal payments over a fixed amount of time. If you're paying the same amount every month, or getting paid the same amount every month, you're dealing with an annuity.
And once you know what to look for, you see them everywhere. That monthly rent check, that's an annuity. Mortgage payment, yep, annuity. Your car payment, you guessed it, an annuity. Even when you're putting a set amount into your savings account every month, that's you creating an annuity. It's just a basic building block of our financial lives. Okay, so money moves through time. We get that. But how do we actually, do the math? How do we figure out what it's worth at different points in time? Well, this is where we get to hop into our financial time machine and use the controls. So first, let's look to the future. Let's say you've got some savings right now, and you're wondering, hey, what's this going to be worth in, say, 10 years? That question is answered by calculating something called future value, or FV. It's the tool that lets you take a lump sum of money today and see what it could grow into down the road once you factor in all that compounding we talked about. Okay, now let's hit reverse on our time machine. Let's look backward from the future. Imagine you win the lottery. Awesome, right? It's a $1 million prize. But here's the catch. They're going to pay it out to you over 20 years. So, is that really $1 million in today's money?
To answer that, you need present value, or PV. This is the formula that does the opposite of future value. It takes some amount of money you're going to get in the future and tells you what it's actually worth right now, in your hand, today. It basically unwinds the compounding process, we call it discounting, to give you the true present-day value.
All right, we've talked about time value, compound interest, future value, present value, a lot of concepts. So what? Why does any of this matter? Well, it matters because all of this theory is what allows us to make genuinely smart decisions with our money.
And this is a perfect look at how it all comes together in the real world. Think about it. Should you buy or lease a car? You can use present value to figure out which deal is actually cheaper in today's dollars. Or for a business, should you invest in a big new piece of equipment? You'd use net present value to see if the money you'll make in the future is worth the cost today. It takes the guesswork out of it.
And that's exactly what this quote gets at. It's all about finding the real value of something. It's not just about the future earnings. It's about what those earnings are worth today after you've paid for everything, including the cost of capital, which is just what you could have earned by putting that money somewhere else. It's the ultimate tool for cutting through the hype and getting to a real hard number. So look, at the end of the day, this stuff isn't just math homework. These are the levers and dials on your own personal financial time machine. Your money is always moving through time. It's never standing still. So the only question left is, are you in the driver's seat?